Welcome back to Talking Shop. We are looking at Luke chapter 14, 25 to 35. We're going to talk about hating your family, bearing crosses, and giving away all your stuff. And that's what makes a disciple. Oh, and salt. We'll talk about salt too. Yeah. So that's good conversation. Good conversation about a text that's going to hit your hearers hard when they first hear it. Stick with us. Enjoy the conversations. Share your insights. That's a blessing to everybody as well. And let's get after it.
Spit out my Lord in every way, yet I'm still welcome in the arms of the King.
Right, Luke chapter 14, 25 to 35. Now great crowds, the hoi polloi, accompanied him, and he turned and said, lots of nice things. Right? So they're following after him. And he says, if anyone comes to me and does not hate his own father and mother and wife and children and brothers and sisters, yes, even his own life, he cannot be my disciple.
This is the gospel of the Lord.
Yeah, this is like you say this on a Sunday morning, especially in our world where, the nuclear family is aspired to, and you care for your family and you love your family. This is going to sound quite harsh. Mm-hmm. Is it harsh? What's he getting at here?
Well, he's on his way to Jerusalem. They're all getting excited about coming into the kingdom of God. They're all getting excited about this son of David taking the reign. And so I'm sure there's this great crowd that's saying, what's he going to do for us?
Okay.
And Jesus kind of turns to them and says, well, maybe you're going to lose everything in order to enter into this kingdom. And so are you ready for your entire life to be uprooted, changed, mixed around, everything that happens? Now, we should say we don't get the context of this. And I was looking back because I feel like we translated it not too long ago. But this comes after the text of him going out and still seeking disciples, calling people. And the one saying, "Oh, I'd love to follow you, sure, but let me first go back and do this." Or another one comes up and says, "I'll go wherever you go." And so it's not without context of what's happening within he's going. So
I think and here you're gonna have to address this. What does he mean by hate?
Yeah. So for there you got to go to, is it Malachi? Jacob I loved, but Esau I hated. I'm just double checking that to make sure. I was going to pull it up and then forgot.
That context,
Malachi 1:3.
Is it a like when we hear when your people hear the word hate, they're thinking, I think, primarily of an emotion, right? Like a despising, like when people say, I hate this.
So the reason you've got to go to Malachi with Jacob I loved, but Esau I hated is because in the Jacob and Esau story, going back into Genesis, Esau doesn't become rejected in the sense of thrown out, bad things happen, curses called down. Right. He's still blessed.
Yeah.
And in fact, you see that later on with the life that he lives, and he becomes the kingdom of Edom, all of this. But what it becomes is a prioritization.
That's right.
Jacob becomes the priority, and Esau becomes the lesser, if you will. Yeah. So in an Old Testament context of hated, that's what
and that's usually the way this gets discussed in the commentaries and such, is that it's about what's first, and what is so the priority, what is given top billing, if you will, versus the others,
right.
And so even those most intimate relationships don't get top billing.
Yeah. So another way of saying it is love the Lord your God above all things. That's this is
a nicer way of saying it.
But in this sense, I mean, he couldn't come up to. They would all agree with that. Oh yeah. But what they're not seeing him is, I'm God. I'm the one you're supposed to to concern yourselves with above everything else.
Right.
So even he could have taken this with the Pharisees. Hate the Sabbath, right? Or,
Sure, something like that.
Anything else would have probably been just as shocking to him.
I think a clue that's what's going on is that it includes even your own life.
Yes.
Right? So it's not just exclude your family,
Yeah.
right? You're excluding yourself somehow.
And suicide certainly is not condoned.
Right, right. So that, I think that's
you're
a
not
real
supposed
clue
to-
that something else is going on, but
Right.
context is really necessary.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think it's like preaching this. This can be something really to explore. Sort of with what are those prized things that people hold on to? Like in other words, like expand on the list.
Yeah.
You need to hate that political party you think is going to save you. You need to hate your retirement account.
Yeah.
You need, like whatever it is, that you're clinging to or giving priority above. That's going to impede your ability to follow him, to be his disciple.
And watch the offering plates fill up.
Yeah.
No,
And to help you, that's right. Yeah,
so
it
good
is
place
radical.
to
It's
start, but
radical.
we're gonna have to get there because
Yeah.
this is it can go off the rails real quick.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah.
Which is why I'm doing the epistle lesson.
Yeah. So the first thing is the first sort of mark of discipleship here is hating your family, even your own life. And then the next is you need to bear a cross. Whoever does not bear his own cross and come after me cannot be my disciple.
Yeah, I wonder. I've heard this different ways. I've heard it from Messianic crowds, or like he's not talking about the cross. He can't be talking about the cross. We certainly want to run there quickly to sacrificing yourself.
Calvary. Sure.
I wonder if it's not just though the cross in this day, and kind of, I don't know if we necessarily look at this, was to be outcast and rejected by the society, and to be seen as the lowest of low, only worthy of ridicule and death. And so I wonder if the bearing your own cross isn't a rejection of the world. If you're not willing to take the shots that the world can put at you, maybe you're not willing to be my disciple either.
It might be, but it could also be soft, right? Because especially for the people in Jerusalem, they see people going to the cross, right? This is Roman Empire.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
happens, and
Yeah.
they see it. And so it could be a call of willingness to even go that far.
Well, yeah, but go that far for a cause. So
For him, because they're his disciple.
Be seen as an outsider in the world. Be seen as somebody that the world is only willing to destroy. You might say. So as opposed to being a friend of the world, as opposed to
Fair, but with
that
this
way.
potential consequence
Right.
hanging over your head.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he's not sugarcoating it.
Right.
Right.
Doesn't appear that way anyway.
All right, and then he gets into these little illustrations to make sense of this. For which of you desiring to build a tower does not first sit down and count the cost, which is why they always call this cost of discipleship, I think, whether he has enough to complete it. Because you don't want to be the guy who lays the foundation, everyone's watching you, and you're like, yeah, that's it. I went as far as I could, right? Because if you're unable to finish it, they begin to mock, saying, this man began to build, was not able to finish. And then building right on that, or what king going out to encounter another king in war will not sit down first and deliberate whether he is able with 10,000 to meet him who comes against him with 20,000. And if not, while the other is still a ways off, he sends his delegation and asks for terms of peace.
So in essence, their system is already rigged against you. In other words, the people are looking for something to mock, and they're going to come to you who are unable to finish, and they're going to ridicule you.
Okay.
You're already at a disadvantage of
In the war.
50% in the war. You're already at half your troops.
Okay.
So you're already behind the curve. Doesn't matter which way you go.
Yeah.
I think we've always seen this, as just to deliberation. But the ones that he lays out here is the disadvantage is already there. No matter how big, again, as he's headed to Jerusalem, no matter how big of an army he amasses, one, it's hoi polloi, and two, it's no match against what he's going to come up against.
Oh, in Rome, sure.
And I think if you want to play it that way, you could play it even against, if we're going to look at the cost of discipleship and what it's going to cost us, well, even our own life, but what we're going up against is far outweighs that. The condemnations of the devil, the judgments of God. We're already at a disadvantage when it comes to becoming the righteous people of God.
And I think there's a beautiful way in preaching this. I like that sort of setup of, you're already behind the 8 ball, right? You are, like your family unit is disrupted. Your normal allegiances are disrupted. You are viewed as the weak and the foolish and those things. And it's that, like, sometimes we hear these images and we say, oh yeah, so sit down and kind of count it. Do I got what it takes to go forward?
Yeah.
Before going forward.
And if you're smart, the answer is no.
I don't got it. Yeah.
Not at all.
And so this is where, like, you can really bring it in that if he's called you, his resources are enough for you to complete the task. He has done what is necessary for the victory. Like, I know that's not explicit there, but I think it's an easy move to make. Do I have enough to build this tower? On one hand, no, but on the other hand, yeah. As long as I'm clinging to him.
Right.
Like, he's got enough.
Yeah. As long as he's the one telling me to build the tower.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And if the war, if I'm going to fight in the Lord's war, I don't have enough. Turns out he actually already won it for me.
Yeah.
And so if I go with him, I go well. Like, I go well to where I'm going.
Or you can flip it and you can have him be the king who's coming out against you with a greater force. His law, his judgments, his wrath. And it says, sue for peace.
Sue for peace.
And it's like, Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy. Yeah. So I think those are creative ways in preaching this, where it's not just about, like, there's a seriousness or weight to it. Like, this is going to cost you.
Yeah.
I preached on this with the strive to enter through the narrow door. It's like there's a striving here, because it's not about, let me get my ducks in a row so I can get through the door. It's about getting through that door is going to cost you everything, because it's going to strip away everything, because it's going to hone down to there's only Christ, and it's the only way you get in, which means you're going to die and you're going to live in him. That's the way it's going to go, right? And so you can, I think, bring a lot of that in here, that with the opposition, the force, the call upon your life, when you're just standing at home by yourself, taking that hard look in the mirror, you're like, I don't have in myself what's necessary. And the good thing is that's exactly right.
So let me poke at that a little bit, because a quick, simple, plain reading, you get the sense of Jesus saying, well, here's a bunch of conditions.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Yep.
Now you decide, do you want to follow me?
Right.
But we don't decide to be one of his. He chooses us.
Yes.
Right.
Right? So it's not plainly obvious here that that's the case, right?
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
So we need to pull in elsewhere that he's not just providing us the strength to complete the tower, if you will, but he even calls us to make that decision at the end. You have to renounce all that you have.
Yeah.
He makes that possible for us to do that.
Right. Well, and I think you could go that far. Even your choice. Even your thought that you could possibly be his disciple, you have to give that up.
Yeah.
And then he makes you his disciple.
Yeah.
That's when he talks about everything, it's if you're coming to him with even an inkling that you have something to offer him, or somehow even the effort or the energy to get to him, it's all for naught.
We were looking at the word for what renounce all, and on one hand it looks like possessions.
Right.
But what you're saying is it's really far beyond just stuff you have.
Yes.
It's my whole being, my whole self.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, going back up to the, does not hate and even his own life, his suke there. So, yeah.
Okay.
All right.
And then after all that, we're going to talk a little bit about salt.
Yeah.
Salt is good, but if salt has lost its taste, how shall its saltiness be restored? That was much more complicated translation than when we were working through it.
Yeah.
But it was, this notion, salt obviously is good and it had great value in its day for sure.
And by the way, cannot lose its saltiness.
Yeah.
Like there's no way for the chemical compound to be destroyed.
It is
really,
salt.
It is salt.
So if it's not saltiness, how do you make this right? How can it be made whole or restored, as it says in this translation?
Or I liked yours that the English often doesn't do. With what shall you season? That's another way that you could actually do it. So if you don't have salt, what else are you going to use?
Yeah, my dad's on this. We've been on for a while for health reasons. This ultra low sodium. And he hates it. Like my mom's tried all kinds of other seasonings. Like, we'll use this.
Yeah.
And he's like, this is terrible.
You gotta have
terrible.
salt. Yeah.
Like, salt just makes things good. Salt is good.
It's a flavor enhancer. Actually, I preached a sermon around that. So more on the Beatitudes. You are the salt of the earth kind of thing. But,
and people will definitely bring that. They're going to hear that here.
Yeah.
And I think that's a fine thing to do. If salt isn't doing what it is designed to do, if it's not being salt, then it's of no use either for the soil or the manure pile. You just throw it away.
Yeah.
There's no usefulness now for it. And if you are a disciple, you are called to follow him. You are going to the Sermon on the Mount, the salt of the earth. The earth is blessed by you because you're his disciple.
Yeah.
Right.
I think if you wanted to, though, going back to losing everything, I think you could take this into that if people are the salt of the earth, then in our sinfulness we've lost that. And if we've lost it, what good are we except to be thrown on the soil or the manure pile?
No,
we have nothing left. So how does it regain its saltiness? Well, you can't. Only God can.
Okay.
I think you've got a good point. I don't think the divider here, the heading, is serving us.
It doesn't seem
I
to
think
be.
I think it's connected. I've heard salt going bad because it gets mixed with other stuff, right? And
there's
that whole thought.
Yeah.
So, but if you go back to what we just read, right? If you haven't given rid of anything, you're not pure. You're mixed up. You're no good. So I think this is connected to what's before.
So you are salt, and it's all of these other things that are actually tainting us.
If you've renounced all your pure salt, and if you haven't, you're corrupted, and you are not good for anything.
Right. There we go.
Which just fits right in. You cannot be my disciple.
Yeah.
Right. That's the. It is Christ or nothing.
Yeah. And yet, once he makes us his disciple, then everything that we are and everything that we are supposed to be is restored. Going back to your salt of the earth. So, yeah.
He who has ears to hear will do that. Do the hearing thing. Right. Let him hear.
Yeah.
Again, I think what's interesting is it's conditional upon having ears that hear. Well, how do you get those? And it's like we're just spinning back around. Well, he gives you those.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we'll see this picks up in the next section we'll do next week with the tax collectors and sinners are coming to him to hear him. And it's the Pharisees and the scribes that are grumbling, saying, this man receives so you
they're
get this
talking.
division.
They're talking.
And these others they're coming
hearing.
he says, if you've got ears to hear, listen. And they're going, oh, okay, we want it lit. What is it he's saying? And you're going to get this division. But again, it's this call of him doing it. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah.
Anything else there you want to add?
Oh, good.
Good. All right. Thank you for sticking with us on that. Take a minute to like and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Check out the Craft of Preaching section at 1517.org. There's an article on this text, plus all the others and the other videos that are out there. Share your insights. It's always a blessing to everybody. And God bless your preaching.